Right, this is the beginning of my Commodore 64 videos. I've received this big box, quite heavy. I guess it's because of the floppy drives, which, if I remember correctly, they have a transformer inside and are quite heavy. So let's do a little bit of unpacking today. I don't know if I can do anything today, but let's start with this. Right, there we go. That's quite nice packing here. Let's see what you see here. That would be right. There we go. That's quite nice packing here. Let's see what you see here. That would be lots of packing material for me. Oh my. Oh my gosh. And it's nothing special, but this is one of the power supplies. So I purchased two power supplies. One is the old one, and one is I think is the new type. I have no idea, but I have a feeling, yeah, this is 5 volts only. No, 5.9. I don't know. I need to find out. The only thing is, I thought about that later on. I don't think this is serviceable. Number one, there are no screws. Number two, I have a feeling that everything inside is, how can I say, is basically covered with resin. So I have a feeling that this is just money wasted. I thought about that later. Anyways, hopefully it's just well, number one, I have the power cable that I would needed to buy anyway. This is just like £10. Hopefully could be the power cable. I don't know, but I'll have a look. So that's number one. And here we got something much more interesting, I'd say. This is not very heavy. Oh my. Woohoo! Look at that. This is called the bread bin, because it looks like a bread bin. Fair enough. It's not in the best shape. But the good thing is it's got all the chips. Some are socketed badly, the memories are socketed. But yeah, he's got, assuming what's supposed to be, they got all the chips. Let's see, there's supposed to be one inside here. Yeah. So it's got all the chips inside, which is good. And I will need to... Oh, this is completely loose. Yeah, he said the case was not great. It's fine. There's something... Wild chicken. There is a RAM. Someone brought RAM here. All of the RAM has been resocketed. The thing is, number one, I need to get power supply that works. And the second thing is, oh, the fuse is blown. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Could just be the fuse, but it's actually probably bad news. Yeah, fuse is blown. Kind of a bad news, because if a fuse is blown, it could be that this thing is shorted. It could also be that, I don't know. The thing is, if the fuse is blown, the first thing I want to do, probably I want to remove all the chips and then power it up when and if I get power supply. Because the reason is I don't want to apply power, the fuse is blown, I replace it, and that means something is burning here and I destroy everything. So yeah, this is going to be, again, I need a power supply first, but that means I got a keyboard now, I got board with all the chips, and I should get another Commodore 64 at some point from a friend of mine in Italy, which maybe he said the sound was not working anymore. But the thing is, if I get a machine which is working and it boots up, I can use it to test components and to compare things. The thing is, I've watched hundreds of videos for Commodore 64s, but I've never done it myself. So, you know, you watch things and I don't really remember exactly now which chip is doing what. And the other thing is, I never had a Commodore 64. A friend of mine had it. So it's not like, you know, if this powered up, I wouldn't really know where to start with, to be honest. Let's have a look at the... Oh, there is one screw here. Someone was kind enough to put the last screw here. I want to see the back, see how damaged it is. Yeah, so someone did a little bit of work in here and replaced, socketed the memory, but they didn't really do a great job, because as you may be able to see, they used some sockets, the blue ones, which, I don't know, they're like cut from others. Anyway, they look crap, so should have them. Definitely, this needs to be washed. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Washed, restored. The case is a bit broken, but I think it's kind of recoverable. Keyboard is filthy, but it's cool. Seems to be working fine. So, yeah. I mean, can't remember how much money I paid it. It wasn't too much. This place in Gloucester, where I've been buying this stuff, is kind of reasonable. Okay. So this is number 2. Number 3, I think this is the other power supply. I think, to be honest, maybe I should have looked for like replacement power supplies. I'm sure you can find them on eBay for probably very little money rather than this. I completely forgot about the resin thing, if that makes sense. It's that black stuff. They just fill the void with that black stuff, so that makes it unserviceable, unfortunately. So this is more the old-fashioned one. I think I've seen these repaired at some point, but it's just, it sounds too dense. I think it's gonna be a waste of time. And again, they're not screws. Forgot about that. I don't know. I'll check online before I destroy everything, but chances are I just wasted my money on those. And here we have one of the drives. There we go. Look at that. Yeah, one was supposed to be slightly faulty here. So the story of these things, and one downside is, I haven't got a cable for that. I need something like this. So the story of this thing, as far as I know, is that the Apple II drives were one of their kind, because basically when they designed the drive, when Commodore designed the drives, as far as I remember, there's a whole computer inside this thing. So this has whatever CPU it comes with, the 64, I can't remember. And this one has either the same CPU or a 6502. It basically has its own logic and CPU. And it's expensive. You know, it was expensive to make back in the days. While the Apple II drives, it says they are like dumb, because they are completely 100% driven by the main unit. So they're very, very cheap to manufacture. Well, these ones, again, if you want to say they're better engineered, but obviously they were much more complicated. So this is number one. I guess this is number two. Wow. And this is drive number two. As you can see, it's actually much less yellow. Yeah, and that works. I need to have a look at the thing. Yeah. So there we go. So I got two drives. one bread bin, and 2 power supplies, which are probably a waste of time. So my next step, it would be to, I need to find cables for these two. I will also need a cable, a video cable from the 664 to monitor, and for sound, that those can be made. I just need I need to find these connectors. I may have something, but I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. That's video, and sound is coming. I think it's coming from the same connector. It's called video, but I need to look into it. Again, I don't know. 664 to. Whoa. So, as I need to start from a power supply, and again, I just checked YouTube, and yes, it's full of that black stuff. So there's probably not much I can do. The only thing I can hope is that this cable is broken, which actually looks broken, to be honest. So first thing I want to do is see if there's any. Let me reposition this a bit. See if there's any resistance here on the, where is it? On the plug. If there's nothing, is not connected, but there is 60 ohm. Yeah, makes sense. And wow. And then I should Google the pin out and see if there's any resistance. That means the secondary is connected to. Right, sorry, I had to do this off camera, but I've tested these pins, and I see that there is a continuity between ground and the, what's that, the 9 volts? There is some, well, not continuity, but some resistance between 9 and 5, but not 9 and, sorry, ground and 5, but not ground and 9, which suggests maybe it could be the broken cable somewhere. I'd like to open this thing because there's still something you can see inside. Sorry, you can't see much, can you? But again, it's glued together. I'll give it a go, see what happens. I don't know, I just decided to do this on camera. I mean, I can open it a bit, but as I saw in the video, I think it's like glued in here. But yeah, it's kind of working, so see what happens. It'll take a while. Oh. Okay. Could be easier than I thought. Come on. Oh, okay. It's actually like some kind of, okay. Well, as long as it doesn't break. Oh, okay, that's better than I thought. Yeah, those things are, okay. They're in, oh gosh. So those things, they actually ended up in the resin. If you can see here. So that's why I was a bit stuck. Right, so, well, there is something connected here, and okay, well, the transformer is in the resin, but the regulators are on this board, which could be, yeah, it can be removed, but first I would need to remove the regulator. To be honest, I know you can't see much, can you? So that's one of the regulators, or maybe the only one. So what I'm saying is, if the transformer is not gone, the issue is on this board, which I think I just need basically to free up this regulator, and I should be able to fix this. So that's not bad news. I thought it was completely submerged into this crap, and it was like, no, obviously can't do much. Okay, so first thing first, let's get the voltmeter, and let me see. So we said this is the primary, 220. Now obviously everything is covered in crap, and you can read 60 ohm, so that means the primary coil is working, and I can only see another output. There's only one output. Oh, sorry, that is yeah, that's mains. So I can see only one output from the power supply, which is these two wires, and I guess that one is then regulated into 5 and 9. If I remember correctly, 9 volts is AC and 5 volts is, no, they're both DC. Anyways, let me have a look. So they come in here, and if I measure here, I do have a reading, which is again 0.3. That's perfectly fine. It's a coil. So that means it's not short, it's not open. If it's not open, to me, it means that this may work. Oh, no, okay, I'm saying rubbish, because I can only, oh, so I didn't see that. So 2 cables, this is the output. This green and white, they come from this board, so there's a regulator here, and it's doing something, and then it goes to the computer. But 2 cables are actually coming straight from the power supply, and I did remember that one is, was one in AC. Yes, the 9 volt is AC. So let me see what the 9 volt line says, which is again straight out of the power supply, which is not easy. It's under the goo. Oh my, it's gonna be interesting. I have to scrape. Okay, not much. Oh, fair enough. It's gonna be here and here. Okay, yeah, it's 0.4. So that's telling me that this is working, to be honest. And I suspect that what is not working is the output of this green and white, which goes through some electronics, which is behind this board. We can try this, but I want to try it with my current limiter because and my isolation transformer. So let's set it up. Okay, so this is a European plug. Actually, it could be French, could be Italian. I got an adapter. It's going into here, and then let's get some power here. So as you may remember, this thing will limit my output. This is just a small power supply, it's not connected to anything, so I've got 15 watts light bulb connected, which means that when I power it up, it will output 220 volts, but limited to 15 watts. And if it limits a bit more, I don't care, it's not connected to anything. So let's power it up. This is gonna be live, even though it's an isolation transformer, so it's a bit more safe, but not much. So first thing I wanna do, I'm going to check what I get onto these two terminals, because these are coming from too much. These two terminals here are coming straight from the transformer. So I'm looking to get some voltage here, and then I'll check if I have voltage on those two terminals which are going straight to the plug. And if that works, then I'll move to the output of this board, which I suspect that's where the problem is. So I got my voltmeter set for alternate current, AC. Let's power it up and see what happens. Okay, my 15 watts bulb is on, which means not much, I guess. So let's see what I'm reading here. Well, I got 2.9. Again, it's understandable. I don't think I have, again, the 15 watts light bulb is probably limiting the voltage as well quite a lot, but there is some output there. So let's check this one. Yeah, that's 9 volts, so that's working, and this is working too. It's just it's a bit oh sorry, then I measured that incorrectly. Still 9 volts, but I'm sure you won't have any output here. You actually have it, so it's a cable issue. This is working perfectly fine. So let me recap for you. Again, you've got 9 volts on the input of this board, and you have 5 volts DC on the output of the board, and that's going at the cable. And then you have 9 volts AC, which is going straight to the cable. So the next step is to check if there's actually any output at this cable. Again, it wouldn't be the first time that I'm buying stuff from this guy which says it's not working, but it's working. Right, it's kind of impossible to set the camera so you see me checking here and this thing at the same time. So let me check the, well, I'll overlay the pinout when I'm editing this. 9 volt AC is gonna be, let's not short everything here. It's gonna be very easy to do, to be honest. Oh, I hate this. Nice. Well, let's give it power first. That may help. Okay, so this is my 9 volts. Oops, shorted. 5, okay, probably well, it shouldn't be 5, it should be so it's reading 5 here and 9 here. It's not reading anything here. That's AC. That 5 was supposed to be DC, to be honest. Yeah, I don't read any 5 DC, but I do read 5 DC here. So let me check the continuity of this cable. So let's unplug this. Let's move this to continuity. I don't know which is which, but I guess we can just guess it. So this is connected to something. This is connected to something, which is not exactly what my pinout says. This It's connected to something. And there's, wait. Oh yeah, well, it's connected to something, obviously. Yeah, they both sound because they, okay. So I wonder whether maybe moving this, it is, maybe there's a break in the cable, but it seems to be working, to be honest. Probably need to find a better schematic, but if I measure, right, so my 5 volt is gonna be this then, yeah, and my 9 volt is gonna be maybe that. Yeah, okay, well, this seems to be working. I mean, if it stops working, I guess it's it means that maybe one of the cables is slightly damaged, but that's great news, it's working. Now let's move to the other one, and I guess this is going to be even worse. This feels so full, unfortunately. I'd be tempted to try it first in case it just works. Is this same pin out? Maybe yes, maybe not. This is a different plug, but it still says 5 volts and 9 volts. 5 volt EC, 9 volt AC. Okay, so let me try and measure something on it. Again, if I didn't have my current limiter here, I would not be very happy to try it. But I do have it, so even if I short it myself, nothing really serious is going to happen. So let's check again. Oh, that was power already. Well, the thing is, my 15 watts bulb is completely off. Okay. Oh, that's why. That's better. So, hello. So there's definitely something going in. Now let's try and measure the 9 volts without shorting everything. So we're in AC, yes. Thing is, I can't. Okay, we have the 9 volts. Yep. And DC, that is maybe these two. Oops. I read 5 volts, to be honest. I think these are working. You know, what I think what I think happens is they must have buckets of old crap to test, and most of the time they power it up, it's not working, that's it, spare as a pair. And the chances are something went wrong, or maybe again, maybe it could be that this is not working when you pull the cable or something, but this is working. So yeah, happy days. The thing is, well, I could do a little test on the 64. I'll show you. Okay, so that's definitely, even if I don't have the video output, one thing I can do with this is to, I'll say, take a picture of it, remove all the chips, and test the voltages. Because again, we found out the fuse has gone. Open this up again. Okay, and again, I still don't know exactly which is which, what is what. Again, I watched so many videos of Commodore 64 repairs, but can't really remember. I should, you know, go back and take notes, basically. I think that this is the CPU 6510, That's the video chip. I think that's the sound chip. These are the ROMs, maybe. These are the kernel, and that is the SID, CIA. Can't remember. That's the memory. So, let's remove all these chips. Because again, I don't want to apply power to this. Okay, well, that was dirty. Let me make sure my picture came out okay. I mean, I can find everything online, to be honest, but yeah. Yes, picture is clear enough. Okay. It's good that most of these chips are socketed. It should make easier to repair. Okay. And finally got this one, which is a bit difficult because the tool doesn't fit. Let me see. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so from what I remember, we should have the 9 volts here, AC, and you should have one of these two is 5 volts and one of these two is 12 volts. These are voltage regulators. So I need to replace the fuse, make sure there isn't a short on the board, and let's see what happens. I'm a bit concerned about that fuse, to be honest. Fuses don't blow up for no reason. I hope I have one. May not have the same size, physical size. So this is this is 1.5 amp. I've never seen this one and the fraction 1.5 amp. See what I got. Well, I think I have, if it's the same size, which is, no, it should be. Not sure this is going to work. But what I can do, if I have my ground connected to ground, yes, I can check on these regulators whether only one should be connected to ground. That's good. This is ground, and this is okay. Because if two are shorted, that means there is a short. So that's the 7812, so that's doing 12 volts. And that's the 7805, which is doing 5 volts. Okay. Ground, and okay. Cool. And I can't remember where it is, but it should be up here. One of these is okay. Well, I don't know. Doesn't feel. It doesn't feel too horrible. And that's the ground of the whatever voltage comes out. And again, the minus is grounded, the plus is not. So that's a good thing. Okay. I would say let's give it a go. And let's see if I have the voltages right. Okay, so let's use the wedge transformer. I think they're the same. I will power my transformer from my current limiter, just to be on the safe side. So you don't see it, but it's going at the back with 42 watts. That should be enough. Let's plug the power connector here. Again, most of the chips are removed. Got power connector here. I've got ground connector to ground. So I have the voltmeter set to what's the name? DC, and I should be able to see a DC input on both and a DC output, and then we'll check the AC. Okay, so let's power it up and see what happens. What's this? It's a little mini transformer. Let's see what happens, and most importantly, let's see if the fuse blows again. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, fuse is maybe okay. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay, that's not good. Nothing, nothing, nothing. And let's see if we have, I can't remember exactly where it is. I think it's one of these two. Well, I haven't actually switched on the plug, so that was just to make sure that you were paying attention. So let's try this again. Okay. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, fuse is still seems okay. That's AC. Okay, we've got 5 volts here at ground and 11 volts input. I think that's the 11 volts is coming from here. And here we have 12 volts output, then we have ground and 22 volts, which I have no idea where it's coming from because there's no 22 volts coming here. But 12 volts is what we are supposed to have, and 12 volts is what we have. And then there should be a 9 volts AC here somewhere, I can't remember. Okay, so apparently the 9 volts AC is going straight into pins 10 and 11. I was looking on the wrong side. I'm actually reading 10, but again, this is unregulated, they say, so should be fine. I think this is not being used by anything. It's used by this port. Don't ask me what it's for, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, the good news is, again, everything seems ready to be powered up. I think usually, yeah, that's where you get the 5 volts. Okay, so, well, the next step is definitely to get a video cable. Maybe able to make one, but definitely get a video cable. Then I will also need a cable for the floppy drives. I have received my testing cartridge, which goes in here, and it's basically it's quite useful. It runs some diagnostics and it works without some of the chips on board, and sometimes it tells you what's wrong with it. It can be misleading, but it's quite interesting. But yeah, I need a video cable first with the audio as well, and then we can start playing with it. That's quite exciting. Right, I just removed the cover of this one, and oh boy, that's in horrible condition. Well, could be worse. But yeah, as you can see, this thing there's a transformer underneath this board. There's voltage regulation here, and one of these chips, that one, that's the 6502. That's what the Apple II uses inside. So again, this is a whole computer. That's why it was expensive. Yeah, it's got ROMs on it. Again, all the power section in it. Wow, that's dirty and horrible. And the thing is, I don't know much about these things. So it's gonna be interesting because I have no idea. We'll need a little bit of online browsing, cleaning. Interesting. Right, I use my compressed air on this thing. One thing I just wanted to show you is this is the one that doesn't stay closed, and I found this. So I suppose, hopefully, there's a place where this goes, and that will fix the problem. But because these have their own transformers inside, I just wanted to give it a go. See what it does. Again, I'm limiting this to 42 watts. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. See what happens. Does it have a fuse? No. Cool. I have no idea. Again, I don't know these things. But yeah, I think one was showing a red light all the time. I think I've seen a video where there was a red light all the time. I guess we can check some voltages, maybe. It's weird. Okay. See what happens. Let me double check. It's a 240 volt. Yes. Okay. See what happens. 3, 2, 1, go. Right. So this keeps spinning. Okay. I need to find some service instructions and find out, well, number one, what that means, and number two, start with the voltages. I have really no idea. So I have no idea what that means. And since we're here, let's give this a go as well. This looks like in much better shape. So this needs to be opened. The other one, all the screws, all the posts are broken. Okay. Well, the good thing of having two units is also that, again, they don't work, but you know, I have chips from one and the other. If I could fix one, that'd be great. But what I'm saying is, you know, I have two processors and ROMs and things, you know, so maybe I can swap them around and see if I can make a working one. Once I have a working one, I can test the other chips. I don't know. I think it helps. And again, I didn't pay them. Oh, that's where the spring is going. Gotcha. Yeah, see that? So I can fix the other one. Unless there's, well, I will find a way, even if it's broken. Okay, so let's power this up. See what it does. Again, this is a 240 unit. Yes. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so the red, well, the red light flashes, then it goes off. I thought that was the normal behavior, to be honest. I guess we will know when I have a working computer and a working cable. But this may be working. I think that the auction said the red light was flashing all the time, but this flashed when I powered up, and then it stopped. And if I remember correctly, I'm not entirely sure, that's the way it works. Okay, well, that would be great, because I have one working unit and we can use for troubleshooting the other one. Fantastic. Well, I don't know yet. Right, let's see if we can fix the door of this one. Yeah, so that's where the screw, not the screw, the spring is going. It's basically keeping this on the, how do you say that, outwards all the time. So it should just be a matter of putting this back like this. That's a horrible design. It looks like Dolby. And in theory, there you go. Well, that was easy. Okay, so again, the next step is the connection cable, the data cable. Well, the first step is a working 664. And I don't even know whether I can use my existing floppy drives with this, but I will find out. And this is definitely not working because this keeps spinning. And the other one I have no idea, but I need a working 64 first.